What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Creative Thinking Techniques Tools of Leonardo Da Vinci series. Now, my name is Marcus, this is Discover Ignite, and in my last video we actually talked about how to balance our body and our mind and not to actually, see them as two separate entities, but actually realize that they are one and the same. Now, this particular video is actually going to be about making new connections and how that can actually help us be more creative. So if you're excited, stay tuned and we will start now. So what are we looking for when we're looking for new connections? Now, if you're actually thinking about new connections, we want to think of this as kind of system thinking, right? That's essentially the process of all the information that we gather to try to find new connections, right? And especially in a day and age where we have tons of information at our fingertips. And the best way to actually try to do this is when you are gathering this information, right? You want to look at things that relate, right? How do they correlate together, right? They can be completely opposite things, but we want to try to establish some kind of pattern recognition, right? We want to try to see what patterns exist in all three of these different things. And a good example would be for this is to actually, write down three things, right? And it could be something like, a garage door opener. It could be a blender, or like the internet, right? So you get three completely different things. How do they all connect, right? How can you connect them all? Well, if you think about, if they were all faster, how could they better our lives, right? Well, if the garage door opener was faster, I could get out of my garage, right, quicker and actually get to work in a timely manner, right? Where if my blender was faster, I know for a fact that, my smoothie wouldn't be, disgusting and choppy, and it would actually cut everything that I put in that blender, right? And then you think about the internet, right? We all hate the internet being slow. So if the internet was faster, I'd have a faster connection, it wouldn't get hung up. It would just be so much faster and allow my interaction with the internet to be a much smoother process and not be delayed at all. And we all hate that delay on an internet connection. So this is typically what we want to do when we are system thinking. We want to, again, gather whatever information that we are collecting on, right, and actually try to make a connection. And you find that this helps, again, bridge different gaps, different connections in your brain to help you be more creative, right? To try to look beyond specific things that seem like they are unrelated, right? And try to, find a common pattern among them all, right? And so this is what we want to try to do, is establish these different connections, especially the very different items that we may select, right? And again, this can be really challenging if you go out and, again, find random things throughout your house, through your office, whatever the case is, and just try to find some connection that they have in common. And again, just write it out. It might take you some time to find a pattern that they all could, fall under, but this will help you, right? It will help build those connections. And that's what we're trying to do, is build new connections and allow ourselves to start picking up on those connections, right? And then you realize, once you start training your mind to look for patterns, then your mind becomes, more concentrated on trying to find those patterns. And this is what helps us, right? If you can find the patterns, that this will allow us to, cultivate creativity, because we're looking for certain patterns. And then we start, blending different things together, which allows us to, think of things much differently, right? Getting that different perspective, right? And blending stuff together. And when you start blending, you start coming up with creative ideas. And so that's what we're trying to do here with the new connections. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. This particular series was to help you become more creative thinker. And to be able to do that, there's a lot of obstructions that we have in our mind about specific things, whether we are unsure about the endeavor we're about to go on, or whether it's something from our past that's holding us back, or perhaps even our diet is holding us back. And there are many different things that come into play, and that's what we are trying to address in this series, is to allow yourself to eliminate as many of those things as you can, so you can become more creative mind, and also try to develop those different connections, you know, between the mind and the body, between the left and the right hemispheres of your brain, to try to, again, cultivate that creativity, because that's ultimately what I want to do. Especially when you are in business, you want to be able to create new ideas right out of thin air, essentially. But it's not out of thin air when you are purposely, you know, trying to develop these networks, trying to make this mind-body connections, and trying to allow yourself, you know, different perspectives, and again, eliminate all that negativity and all those other things that could be, you know, deterring you from trying to be more creative, right? And try to open up your mind to as many possibilities as there is. And so again, I hope this series helped you guys. If it has, smash that like button. Also, if you know somebody that can get something out of this series, please share it with them. And until next time, I will see you guys later.